Short History of Halliburton Energy Services. A quote that sums up the beginnings of Halliburton by Earl P. Halliburton is, "The two best things that ever happened to me were being hired and fired by the Perkins Oil Well Cementing Company." Earl was working for the Perkins Oil Well Cementing Company in 1916 when he made changes to their cementing procedures that were not working, and he wasn't supposed to make. He then was fired, and his wife Vita and himself made the move to Burke Burnett, Texas. The oil boom had just begun in Texas, and he introduced cementing oil wells to the locals. They were having problems because the pipe that brings the oil up out of the ground was breaking down and had cracks all over it that would allow water in, thereby contaminating the oil. Sometimes this would even cause the pipes to explode because of the added pressure. He would pour cement between the pipes and the ground around it that caused the cracks and corrosion. He built a cement jet mixer around this time so that cement no longer had to be mixed by hand. After this, Halliburton was founded in 1919 and named the New Method Oil Well Cementing Company. He started the company with a team of mules, a wagon, and a pump. It was started in Duncan, Oklahoma, using a wooden mixing box that he had built to mix and pump cement into oil wells. Earl borrowed the mule and wagon from a friend, and Vita pawned her wedding ring so they could pay for hired help. Rather quickly, the sacrifices were worth it, and eventually it led into a company that has an annual expense account of over $24 billion. In 1920, he struck it lucky and big when the Skelly Oil Company came to him with an out-of-control well in south central Oklahoma. After that, his reputation and company skyrocketed. In 1921, he received a patent for his jet mixer and a measuring line tool, which was used so that cementing a well could be done more accurately. In 1922, Halliburton was cementing its 500th well. In 1924, Halliburton was incorporated, and the stock was owned by Earl and his wife Vita and 7 other big oil companies. Halliburton became a global company before it was the thing to do by selling 5 of their cementing units in 1926 to an English company that was located in Burma. Research laboratories were established in the 1930s by Halliburton to test cement and acidizing surfaces, which served to increase the supply of oil and gas by whittling away at limestone formations. They also performed their first offshore cementing job in the Gulf of Mexico, which led to them becoming the world's biggest offshore service for oil companies. Entering into offshore oil cementing was a huge risk at the time because it was such a new and unproven field. However, it paid off greatly, and the Gulf of Mexico still brings in huge revenue and profits for Halliburton. By the 1940s, they were providing services in Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru, and the Middle East. 7 years before Earl's death, Halliburton had cemented 100,000 wells, and revenues were topping $100 million for the first time. Earl had many other inventions, such as aluminum luggage, a portable breathing machine, and 38 other patents. Today, inventions are still very important to Halliburton, and the company has over 4,000 patents on things pertaining to the oil field. In the mid-1980s, they were the first American company to be allowed to complete a job on the mainland in China. In 1991, they opened a branch in Moscow, which caused changes and growth to the already big Halliburton. Now, Halliburton is the second largest oil service company in the world with over 75,000 people employed and operating in 80 countries representing 140 nationalities.
Created using Powtoon.